What's up guys, Davey here from phonebuff.com, and in this video we're going to be doing a review on the LG Nexus 4 by Google. We'll start off with a quick hardware tour. So on the top of the front you have an earpiece and a 1.3 megapixel front facing camera. Of course you have your large 4.7 inch IPS display, and at the very bottom of the front you have an LED notification light for all your notifications. On the back, you have a slit speaker grill and LG logo, a nice, almost matrix-like design on the back that isn't quite showing up here. Of course, you have your Nexus branding, being that it is a Nexus device. And finally, at the top, you have a 8 megapixel camera with LED flash. On the left side of the phone, you have your micro SIM door and your volume rocker for volume up and down. On the right side of the phone, you have nothing but the power button to turn the screen or the device on and off. At the top, you have a 3.5mm headphone jack and your secondary microphone. And finally, on the bottom, you have your micro USB charging port, your primary microphone, and two little screws on each side to open up the device. Alright, so let's get right into the review. The first thing I want to talk about is the build quality and design on the Nexus 4. My first impressions of the phone were that it felt like a premium device. Both the front and back are covered in Gorilla Glass, with the back having this unique sparkle design that shows up when light hits it at an angle, and I honestly feel like it's a really nice touch. On the front, the glass is smoother than your average touchscreen, making it easy for your fingers to glide across it. I found this to be especially useful when gaming, considering all the quick movements you need to be able to make. And because the glass is so slippery, I'm glad Google decided to go with a soft touch rubber material on the edges, which gives you a great grip on the phone while also giving it a nice matte black finish. When it comes to size and weight, the Nexus 4 is on par with other top Android handsets like the previous Nexus and the Galaxy S3. While technically it's heavier and thicker than these two devices, it isn't really noticeable, and if anything, it actually plays into the premium feel of the phone. Speaking of premium, let's talk about the display. The 4.7 inch IPS Plus display on the Nexus 4 has a resolution of 1280 by 768, which nets you about 317 pixels per inch. Because its width is 768 instead of the typical 720, you do get a little bit of letterboxing when viewing HD video, but it's barely noticeable and the extra pixels are actually welcomed. Just about everything on the screen looks sharp and accurate, so to sum up this part of the review, I have to say that the screen is definitely one of the best out there. With a screen like this, you want to make sure the phone can handle whatever multimedia you throw at it. And with the Adreno 320 GPU, the Nexus 4 does this beautifully. The games we tested ran without a hitch and kept their high frame rates. And getting in and out of apps on the Nexus 4 was as snappy as I've ever seen on any other device, thanks to both its software optimizations with Android 4.2 and its quad-core Snapdragon S4 Pro processor with 2GB of RAM. The benchmarks tell a different story though, with the Nexus 4 only scoring 4800 on Quadrant, but this is most likely due to the lack of optimization for Android 4.2, especially considering that the Nexus 4's brother in the Optimus G scored over 7000. Alright, on to the camera. The Nexus 4 has an 8 megapixel shooter with LED flash that takes pretty decent shots, but from my experience I wouldn't put it on the same level as the cameras on the Galaxy S3 or the iPhone 5. I mean, in good lighting conditions the pictures look good, but that's the same for just about any high-end smartphone. But in low light, especially with shaky hands, the camera on the Nexus 4 just doesn't perform as well as some of the other top smartphones. But don't take that as me saying the camera is bad, because it definitely isn't, and if you're not coming from another new high-end smartphone, the camera should still be an upgrade. Okay, so you've got a decent camera, a powerful processor, and a killer screen. That combo may have you worrying about the battery life a bit. The Nexus 4 has a 2100 mAh battery under the hood just like the Galaxy S3 does, and just like with the 8 megapixel camera, it doesn't seem to perform at the same level. On average, I got about 7 to 8% less use on the Nexus 4's battery compared to the S3's, but the good news is it should still be enough to get you throughout the day. Call quality is about the same on the Nexus 4 as it is on other high-end Android smartphones, and the speaker in the back is loud enough to get the job done, but not quite as loud as on phones like the Galaxy S3 and the iPhone 5. This is especially true when the phone is sitting down on a counter because the slit-style speaker grill almost gets sealed off, which drastically lowers the volume. So far, we've covered the hardware, but it's really the software that makes you want a Nexus device. With the Nexus 4, not only are you getting the latest version of Android, you're getting Android in its most pure form. No bloatware, no third-party apps pre-installed. You're getting Android the way Google envisioned it to be, and you're pretty much guaranteed to get updated to the next version of Android at least a couple of months before most other devices do. You just gotta love that. Overall, I give the Nexus 4 a thumbs up. While I wish I had a better performing camera and battery and full 4G LTE support, I think that the beautiful HD display, the powerful quad-core processor, the pure Google experience, and the ridiculously low price point are more than enough to make up for it. Alright phone buffs, that's it for me in this review. If you found it helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this. Thank you for watching.